Greetings to all of you and welcome to the CDC Experience. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Johnson. I am the Chief Strategy Officer here at the CDC, and we welcome you to visit any of our platforms to learn more about our services and what we're doing to impact the community. We ask that you will go onto our Spotify, you will go to YouTube or even Facebook to hear more of our podcast, a part of the CDC Experience. I am excited about today, what we're doing, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And we have to make sure that we're addressing anything that is taboo to be able to take that elephant from out of the room so we can help our families and help those who are in need. Today, I'm sitting with Dr. Zanita Ellison, who is the CEO of New Vision Behavioral Health. And I'm so excited that she's with us today just to talk about how important mental health is. So Dr. Ellison, good to see you today. Thank you for being with us. Tell us a little bit about you as well as your practice.
Sure. Well, I'm gonna make a brief correction. I am not yet a doctor. I'm just a licensed mental health counselor. And as Dr. Johnson mentioned, I am the CEO of New Vision Behavioral Health. We provide mental health and addiction counseling services to all ages. We specialize in serving youth, and so we provide youth-focused services that may look like workshops, groups that are all centered around issues that our youth face.
So let's get right into it.
Sure.
All right. Can we get right into it? The biggest thing is, as we're looking at the African American community, persons of color that look like you and I, why is mental health such a taboo topic in our homes, receiving the assistance and the help that we need? Why is it that we are so against it?
I mean, I think there are many factors that play into mental health being taboo in our home or even in our culture, so to speak. When you look at the history of mental health was always connected to illness, right? It was connected to mental illness. And so I think the misnomer, the misunderstanding is people think that I need to be ill in order to seek mental health support.
Or I don't want to be labeled as crazy.
Right. Or there are only certain types of crazy that go see a therapist, right? And so we have that misunderstanding of what mental wellness or mental health really is and looks like. I mean, from a cultural standpoint, we, as resilient people that we are, we were able to kind of support each other through things, through religion, through community, things like that. And so we kind of saw that as a fix-all and didn't really value the importance of seeking mental health professional. And then the spiritual component, a lot of us in the African American community.
Just pray about it.
Right, exactly. So, God can fix it and just pray about it. So I think we have those different ideals or misunderstandings of mental health that play into our comfortability to seek support or just say, I'm not okay.
Right. I know even from a spiritual aspect, I always tell people you need Christ and a couch. It's not one or the other. You need both. And so what are you doing in the role that you have as being over your health center to have these conversations with families, these taboo conversations, and removing that mental stigma that I must be crazy if I need to go and talk to someone? How are you personally combating that to make sure that persons are receiving the help that they need for mental health?
Sure. So, I mean, when we get somebody that comes to our office and they're the first time, or that calls us and it's the first time seeking counseling, we celebrate that. Like, we make them feel proud that they took that step. So we provide encouragement and support. Getting the conversations out there about what mental health is, what it looks like, and what it does not look like. And so providing some of that psychoeducation is what we call it, going out into the communities, being present, letting people know that, hey, there are clinicians and providers that look like you in the minority or African American community. You don't have to go to the traditional, back in the day, it was a white male psychologist, and so kind of letting them see that there are providers who are able to support them that can connect with them culturally, spiritually, in other ways.
I think it's more or less, peeling the onion.
Yeah.
For years, there has been such of a disparaging thought to go and seek treatment, mental health treatment. So there are so many layers in our families. We place stuff under the rug and say we just never talk about it. Yeah. There are so many people that are struggling with sexual assault as a child and domestic violence and suicide attempts that we just don't talk about. And so we don't want to put our family business out there. What would you say to that person that seems to be more of a recluse because they've been really mentally battered into a place of not coming out and expressing and what they've experienced and receiving some tools to kind of help them heal?
I mean, as the saying goes, our secrets keep us sick, right? And so
wait a minute. Let's go back. Say that again. Our secrets what?
Keep us sick.
Wow.
Yes, our secrets keep us sick. So those things that we are holding close to the chest or that we are holding on the inside that we've been carrying, whether it's from childhood or what happened to us yesterday, for whatever reason, if it's guilt, shame, or just not knowing how to tell our story, those are the things that we really need to be supported by. There's some people who are living in domestic violence situations. There are some people who are struggling with addiction. There's some people who are having suicidal ideations or thoughts of killing themselves. And because of shame and guilt, there's this fear that if I come out, what will others think of me, especially if they're professionals.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many professionals who may be even in my role. I'll just even share a little bit about me. There was a time in my life to where I was suicidal. And because here I am, this therapist who owns this practice, who should be expected to be well, stay well, and know how to get back well when I'm not, there was a lot of shame and fear about who do I go to and talk to when I feel this way? Who can I trust? If I get Baker Act, I got to go now in front of my board of license and explain why I had this mental health breakdown. And so imagine people who are parishioners, people who carry other professional roles and titles who may not feel safe or comfortable with sharing the things they struggle with because they live in this broken world and have the same human experience as other people. And so just kind of normalizing the conversation and helping people realize that no matter what your title is, I say being born in this crazy world, healing is your birthright.
Yes.
Healing is your birthright because we cannot control the experiences that happen to us. We can't choose our parents. We can't choose the tragedies, the traumas that we face as human beings living in this world. And so it is our right to seek the support for whatever we may be facing.
I think you said something that may really help others, and I don't want to pass over so quickly, and you don't have to go deep into detail if you don't choose to. As a professional, mental health professional who had thoughts of suicide, for that professional who gets up and work every day, who manages a staff, who's on a team of people, and they're doing everything that they can, but they're fighting those thoughts.
Yeah.
What did you do to come from out of that dark place?
Sure. I tapped into what I knew in my connections and my resources. I had to really deep dive into what was my biggest root of pain. I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and other traumas. And so I had to really prioritize my own mental health, stay connected and get reconnected with my own therapist, tell myself it's okay for me to be here because I didn't choose my traumas. And at the end of the day, my profession has nothing to do with my own personal struggle. However, my privilege is because I am trained, I do have the knowledge of what to do or how to get support when I need it.
What are some of the things that you're seeing now amongst people based on the climate in which we're in that persons are dealing with? Is it depression? Is it anxiety? I know it's not one or the other, but what are some of the things that you're seeing as persons are coming into your office that they're struggling with the most?
Yes, certainly those mood disorders, anxiety, depression, alcoholism. Alcoholism is very normalized in any culture. It's very normalized, and so just realizing I'm drinking a little too much or a little too heavy. Anger. A lot of people are dealing with anger. I get a lot of people, adults, who are struggling with managing that deep emotion of anger and finding out, why am I so angry? For our youth, a lot of them, the resilience is nil. And so it's almost as if the smallest thing can throw them
Those triggers.
Right.
Yeah.
They are almost fantasizing about Baker rags, and so some of our youth are more connected to being ill versus well, and it's almost faddish.
Do you think they're looking for an escape based on what they have in their home? Some of them are dealing with so many different things. Well, maybe I just need to get away, and this is the only way that I know, not minimizing what they may be facing, but we'll be surprised the stuff that people may resort to just to get away from some of the things that they're dealing with.
Some of that is there. Yes, there's some of that there. COVID did a thing. And I can't even explain what it had done. I mean, my business grew tremendously because of COVID, but it did a thing to people, especially our youth. The socialization is, they lack the socialization. The isolation is present. And so people were becoming and feeling more and more disconnected to themselves and to the world around them. And so we're seeing it manifest in drug addiction, just crazy behaviors, toxic behaviors, suicidality. So yeah, I mean, the layers are pretty thick, and there are many roads that are pointing to mental health right now.
So as we peel those layers back, what is it that you would share with our audience about mental health and the need for just talking to someone? Do you feel as if everyone should have a therapist on standby?
Everyone should have a therapist on standby. And it don't have to be me, right?
But if they need you,
right.
Tell them where you're located.
Exactly. New Vision Behavioral Health Incorporated. So we are in 4 locations now. St. Petersburg, Florida, 511 66th Street North. Tampa, 904 East Henry Avenue, in the office of Dr. Tracy's house. And now in Clearwater, the North Greenwood area, in the Willa Carson Free Health Clinic. And then with Texas, we have a location in Texas with Thrive Family Medical. So we have 4 locations. We take all insurances, including Medicaid. So there really is an excuse why you cannot choose us. We do take TRICARE. Yes, we take TRICARE. Yes.
All of our military families.
That's right. We take TRICARE. We are also VA choice. And so if you don't want to go to the VA and get your treatment, you can always choose us. We have minority providers, minority males, females of Indian descent, and we also have non-minority providers. So we try and reach all people.
No excuse.
None.
No excuse. You have all of the insurances covered, but you say everyone should have one.
Yeah.
Right? Should every therapist have a therapist?
Every therapist should have a therapist. Everyone should have one, because life is unpredictable, and it ebbs and it flows, and we can't see things coming. And sometimes we just need that person on standby that we can call and say, hey, listen, I'm not okay. I need to unpack these things we don't feel comfortable talking to about family or friends. It's great to have a support system, but sometimes I need to pay somebody to be very vulnerable with, to be transparent with, and that's okay.
Friends, as you're watching this and as you're listening to us really just capture the essence of the month of May being Mental Health Awareness Month, you want to make sure that you're talking to someone. I don't care what your academic background is. I don't care how much money you have in the bank. We need someone. And for those who may be suffering in silence, this is our plea to you to reach out and find someone, because it only takes one thing to tip us over, and that may be the moment that just blows up. And the biggest piece behind it, we will allow what we're experiencing to be masked by someone else. And so we start lashing out on other people, all because we haven't identified the root of what we are experiencing. Zanita, thank you so much for being with us today. Tell us once again where you're located and how persons can reach you.
Sure. So you can find us. Our website is www.newvisionbehavioralhealth.org. Our phone number is 727-687-0997. Because we have multiple locations, it's easier to call, go on the website, pick the location that's closest to you. And yeah, we look forward to serving you.
So you've been watching the CDC Experience. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Johnson. This has been my ultimate pleasure to be with you yet again. Would you visit any of our platforms and our website? And I have to tell you that we're celebrating 32 years of being actively involved in the community. We would love to have you a part of our gala, which will be on October 22nd, which is my birthday. So that's a double celebration. But we would love for you, as well as your organization, to be a part of that as well. You've been watching the CDC Experience. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Make sure that you know what your triggers are and find somebody to talk to. Thank you.